are set to go. Diana Taurasi's parents, she has been unbelievable in the tournament, averaging 25.8 points a ball game. Kara Lawson has not been up to her standards, but expects to have a big game tonight. And UConn controls the opening tip with Barbara Turner.
Well, this game is going to change back and forth. Looking for Connecticut to make Tennessee play defense. And Tennessee will switch up their defenses in this game, but going inside.
Nice catch, and the bucket. Connecticut grabs the initial 2-0 lead.
And Tennessee, Mike, they'll want to push the ball as much as they can. Up-tempo, Connecticut wants to play them in a half-court game, but Tennessee is so good getting the ball inside.
And a nice start for Gwen Jackson. She hits the baseline jump shot. Jackson 8 times this year, 25 points or better, including in the semifinals.
Even though Shira Eli had 6 points and 7 rebounds, not a great game as she shot 3 of 7 against Duke. She opens up the floor for Gwen Jackson.
This is Strother outside. They go right back into Turner, and Turner bricks a jump shot. Loose ball comes to Moore for Tennessee.
You got to like Connecticut's offense, so it's a one-on-one situation for Turner. They're clearing things out and opening up the middle for their offense.
Lawson, the point guard, done a tremendous job.
Well, she's the key. She's got to shoot the ball well. Kara Lawson's playing well. She's going to play well. But Kara Lawson, she can get rebounds, but she's got to score points for this Tennessee team.
Conlon gets the loose ball. Taurasi trying to get position underneath. Instead, it's Strother from the outside, and the freshman knocks down a 3.
I tell you, that is a huge basket, Mike, because Ann Strother has struggled with her shooting in the postseason play, and I really thought maybe she'd hit the wall as a freshman in as many minutes as she'd been playing.
Ball knocked out of bounds, and Strother, like a lot of her freshman colleagues, looked a little tight when she came out tonight.
Well, heads up play by Maria Conlon to open up Strother and give her the confidence to take that shot. Strother now 3 of 6 in postseason play.
And when you're in a freshman in a national championship game, that first one's got to feel really good. Lori Moore.
Oh, boy.
She has only made 21 of 30 field goals in the NCAA tournament.
Well, the knock on Lori Moore is that she cannot hit the outside shot, especially in big games.
Taurasi with a long 3. And the rebound goes to Eli.
Most teams will play off Lori Moore and try and keep her out of the lane. Not a good pass by Kara Lawson, but I think that's a huge shot for those guards of both Tennessee and Connecticut. Diana Taurasi, she's got to make the game come to her. Just don't force up the threes. And I know it was a quick shot that Gino Auriemma probably did not want.
Conlon brings it up against Moore.
Great pressure defense by Tennessee. They saw what Texas did, and Gino Auriemma talked about Purdue and Texas really beating his team up. They're worn down, he says.
Back inside, turnaround jump shot, 2 straight for Jessica Moore.
Pat Summitt telling her guards, Lori Moore, to push it up. Kara Lawson, when she's got it. Right now, Tennessee is a team that usually up there, a made basket, they'll push it up, but they're not doing it.
Taurasi, great defense, held her ground against Eli. 3 on 2.
Tempo is too slow for Tennessee right now. In shoot-around today, Gino Auriemma made his team working down to 12 seconds and then get the ball inside.
Another great feed, exactly what you were talking about. Barbara Turner scores, she has 4, and UConn's up by 4.
What the perimeter players are doing for Connecticut too, Mike, they're keeping their dribble. They really worked on that at shoot-around today. So if they keep their dribble, they can move around if a pass is not open.
Eli.
Oh, Tasha Butts, great cut down the middle. They're going to call Ann Strother for the foul. Too much contact, but Tasha Butts really making a nice cut. Gino Auriemma not happy with the call. But here's the pass. See how Strother is keeping her dribble alive. She's changing position. Now the double team came with a nice pass.
Foul on Strother was her first, and Jackson off the inbounds play can't hit the jumper.
This is a Tennessee team that's been out-rebounding their opponent by over 15 rebounds. Connecticut felt coming into this game, they got to get their hard hats on and rebound with Connecticut.
Number 1 in the country is Tennessee, you're right. Conlon a 3 over a screen and hit it. The players other than Taurasi so far having a big night. That's huge for UConn.
So much has been talked about this Connecticut team that Diana Taurasi is carrying the load. It's the other players. Who's going to step up tonight?
Collin and Strother have each knocked down a 3. And the forwards have scored from inside. And Shira Eli with an answer. She has 4.
Well, it's still early. I think Tennessee's got to still pick up the tempo a little bit.
12-7. It'd be hard to imagine UConn could beat Tennessee without another huge night from Taurasi. But they've gotten 3 baskets from Jessica Moore at point-blank range.
But, Mike, this is where Taurasi really shines, I think. The fact that she passes the ball so well and she gets others involved. Once she starts doing that, then everybody else on Tennessee has to play good defense on the rest of the Connecticut team. Then Taurasi will start stepping up.
Lawson looking for someone inside. Can't find it and hits the long jumper. She is the best three-point shooter in the history of Tennessee basketball, number 2 in percentage, but she has made more than anybody else who has ever played for Pat Summitt.
Well, and Carol Lawson really needed that shot, too. She was 0 for 2 against Duke, but she's really struggled with her outside shot.
Taurasi so close on those cuts. She tries a 3, and Lawson with a rebound. Tennessee down by 4 with the ball. Butts too strong, and Taurasi with a rebound.
Barb Turner got hit in the face by Sasha Butts. And right now, for Connecticut, Diana Taurasi, I think her game could improve if she would go to the basket a little bit more. She'd get to the free throw line and put the ball on the floor.
Hard to imagine this kind of start for UConn. 14 points for 4 starters, none so far for Taurasi. Here is Strother, and she hits another one. Connecticut just shooting lights out, Annie.
Well, we talked about the screens that the teammates of Diana Taurasi set. Well, they're setting them for everybody else. They come off those screens, they're wide open. Tennessee is trailing on the screens. They got to switch, or they cannot trail like that. They've got to get through.
Nice drive by Tasha Butts, goes baseline, gets the layup. We have a timeout, 13:48 to go first half. UConn on top of Tennessee. Connecticut with the early lead on Tennessee. Let's check in with Pam Ward.
Thank you, Mike. Carol Lawson playing her last game for Tennessee, and her father, Bill, finally is watching. He wanted her to go to Stanford, and after she signed her letter of intent to go to Tennessee, he vowed he would never watch her play basketball again. Obviously, he's changed his mind, helped in part by Kara's Tennessee's teammates, and now his relationship with his daughter is patched up. And now that Kara wants to be a coach, he admits that being with Pat Summitt, pretty much she is at the Stanford as far as coaching schools is concerned. Mike?
Tell you what, Bill Lawson grew up on welfare, a self-made man, and established a set of principles and wasn't about to back down on those principles for anyone or anything.
Well, thank goodness he saw the light.
Yes, sir. Full court pressure. Strother will try a 3. She's already hit one, rims out on this. The rebound goes to Ashley Robinson, who is in for Pat Summitt.
And that's where Tennessee's got to take advantage, get those defensive rebounds and run. But Connecticut doing a good job on the transition defense.
Lawson can't find an opening and goes to Lori Moore. Gwen Jackson, good fake to get open, and then couldn't hit the shot. Been one and done for everybody in this game.
And Tennessee, and this is why Connecticut's playing so well, too, in the sense that they are stopping Tennessee from getting those second and third shot opportunities. That's where they're so strong. They're going to call the foul on Ronette Crockett, trying to get position against Gwen Jackson, just getting a little too rough down there. And Gino Arima trying to plead his case.
Crockett, the freshman, in after the break. First 10 possessions. Tennessee 5 out of 8, UConn 7 out of 10. The only difference, those 2 turnovers. And Taurasi only had 2 shots and hasn't scored as yet. It's got to surprise Tennessee that everybody else is taking the shot so far. And a poor pass by Tasha Butts, airmailed into the crowd. Let's go to Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Mike, an update on freshman Barbara Turner. She took a pretty good shot to the head. She was bleeding. They've taken care of that. They've taken the blood off her jersey. But trainer Rosemary Regal just administered an eye test. They're concerned that she was hit hard enough, and whether or not she will be back in shortly remains to be seen. That's the shot to the head. They have stopped the bleeding. It is off her jersey, so it now is just up to Rosemary as to when she can go back in.
Well, hopefully she'll be all right, Doris. Thank you. Tennessee with good defense.
And Barbara Turner was playing very well offensively.
Brittany Jackson in the ball game, number 25. She had a big semifinal game, really helped them off the bench. And an offensive rebound for Tennessee and a new 30 on the shot clock.
Not only Brittany Jackson, but Ashley Robinson came into that Duke game, and she was key too. And at 6'5", she creates some problems for Connecticut.
Jackson in the lane, and she's fouled by Strother. That will be 2 on Ann Strother.
Fouls will be a concern for Gino Auriemma and his team. He doesn't have the depth that Tennessee does. Certainly in the backcourt as far as ball handlers. Nicole Wolf, who's on the bench for the first time dressed out this season since she got hurt. And she was a starting guard at 6'2", and 10 games, averaged over 6-7 points.
Had to feel really bad for her. Had a stress fracture in her foot, sat out all those games, was ready to come back. And they found yet another stress fracture that has kept her out the rest of the year. Brittany Jackson, the sophomore from Cleveland, Tennessee, hits them both. And we have a 2-point game. UConn continues to cling to a lead over Tennessee in the women's national championship game from Atlanta, Georgia. Liliana and Mario Taurasi, the parents of the All-American and most people's player of the year.
Well, he's from Italy, and Doris Burke had talked about being immigrants, and he moved to Argentina when he was a young boy and met Lillian, and they're both from Argentina, moved to California, and that's where Diana Taurasi and her sister were raised, and speaks fluent Spanish.
And don't expect Taurasi to become frustrated because she's not scoring. She just wants to win. Taurasi down the lane, there's an example, great pass off. She had a layup, instead got it to Wilnette Crockett and draws the first team foul against Tennessee in this half.
So she reminds me so much of a Rick Barry. Rick Barry always talked about that first shot has to be the same form and non-pressure as the last shot. And no matter how much time is left on the clock, that's how Diana Taurasi plays.
Wilnette Crockett at the line, misses the first free throw. She had an outstanding game against Texas, 9 points, 10 boards off the bench. An example of the youth of Connecticut. Just one young player after another rattles this one home. And we are separated by 3.
Now remember, Jessica Moore and Ashley Battle had redshirted, so they worked out with those 4 seniors that graduated. They had a year under their belt before 2 years actually, before they graduated.
Good ball movement by Tennessee. Lori Moore had it partially blocked and taken away.
Diana Taurasi leads the team in block shots.
Taurasi down the lane, a little runner, and got it. Her first 2. And the lead has grown to 5.
See, that's where I think she can take advantage of her size and her dribbling ability.
Brittany Jackson with a miss. The follow won't go, but Gwen Jackson with a rebound.
3 seconds.
And that's what the call is. Waited a beat too long, and Pat Summitt doesn't like it. She wanted a foul.
Diana Taurasi coming over a little late, getting a hand on it. She's tall. Lori Moore can't get it. And then good body control by Diana Taurasi down the lane.
She never seems to be off balance.
She's not real fast. You know, Auriemma and some other coaches kind of compared her to that Larry Bird speed.
Well, if you compare to Larry Bird in several areas, you got a good one, don't you?
That's right.
Lawson hustling it back down court.
Well, give credit to the defense of Connecticut right now because Tennessee has not been able to push the tempo.
Gwen Jackson slices into the lane and got the roll. Nice soft touch by the senior from Eufaula, Alabama, who has dedicated this entire tournament to her grandmother who passed away. And she's been sensational. 1916. Moore screens for Conlon. Taurasi over Jackson. 3. Drained it.
Same expression. Now, Connecticut looks like they set up in the zone sometimes. They might stay in it, but then they fall back into the man-to-man, which is what they just did.
Good defense by Crockett. Forced a bad pass. The 5th UConn turnover. And Diana Taurasi, who had gone the first 8 minutes of the ball game without scoring, has hit 5 quick ones.
And Lori Moore called the switch on that. Brittany Jackson couldn't get out. Lori Moore never got picked. She just didn't follow Taurasi, and by the time Brittany Jackson was told to go out, it was way too late to get on Taurasi.
We are playing for a national championship, the NCAA Finals from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Glad you could join us on a Tuesday night. Hope you're enjoying this ball game. The 2 premier programs in women's basketball, and UConn has won both of the national championship games that they have been in.
And maybe a good switch by Pat Summitt to put Shira Eli on Taurasi at 6'2", has the quickness to stay with her and made the nice steal.
Check it, they have won all 3 of the national championship games they have been in. Jackson, too strong on the 3, got her own long rebound. Gwen Jackson so dangerous when she gets it that deep. Gwen Jackson has half a dozen, and the lead's cut to 4.
Well, Tennessee continuing to go to their bread and butter player right now that's gotten them there, Gwen Jackson.
Long shot, no good by Turner.
It was a quick shot, Mike. I think Gino Auriemma and his staff want more patience in the offense.
Lawson couldn't hit the leaner, but Jackson gets the follow and draws the foul. There's the offensive rebounding that Pat Summitt was looking for.
Gwen Jackson, 25 points and 15 rebounds against Duke the other night. He's just been relentless on the boards. Good pass by Carol Lawson, and then the nice spin move, up and under move by Gwen Jackson.
Misses the first, she'll get another.
She's been getting to the free throw line.
Pat Summitt said she is as focused and as confident as she has ever been in her Tennessee career, and it's showing in the numbers she has racked up in the NCAA.
Boy, Pat Summitt in this first half is really going deep into the bench.
Courtney McDaniel comes in to give Jackson a breather.
Can do one of 2 things. You can either throw off your offense a little bit because players aren't used to playing with each other, or at least give your starters a rest.
Tennessee has the only offensive rebounds in this game, 5-0 in that department over UConn. Moore kicks it out to a wide-open Conlon for 3, can't hit it. Brittany Jackson with a rebound.
You like Tennessee's defense in the sense that they're forcing Connecticut to take those outside shots. They're sagging back a little bit and daring them to knock it down.
Shauna Zolman, number 5, in for the first time for Tennessee. You want to see somebody shoot outside shots. Boy, she has a great stroke.
Well, this Tennessee team, 158 straight games with 3-pointers. Tennessee does not have one yet.
Courtney McDaniel wide open inside, couldn't finish it. Taurasi right back, goes down the lane and draws a foul.
Well, that's a smart move right there, Mike, because Diana Taurasi recognizing the young players were in not to be able to guard her.
Foul was on Lawson, who got a timeout with 6:47 left first half. Connecticut by 3 the other night in the semifinals. Gino Auriemma won his 500th game. He has only lost 99 in his career, going for his 4th national championship. Pat Summitt going for her 7th. Tennessee strength tonight, Annie, in the paint.
Well, Connecticut's getting it done in the paint, too, right now. And they've got some players in Jessica Moore and Barbara Turner going inside and looking for their shots. At practice today, Gino Auriemma said that to both them and Crockett, once they get inside the lane, look for your shot, don't look to pass.
The surprise has been with Tennessee to have the expected advantage. Tennessee is out rebounding UConn 12-6 inside. Let's go to Doris Burke.
And you have noted on a couple of occasions how quickly Connecticut is shooting the basketball. Gino Auriemma told his team the exact same thing. He said, in the half court, let's torture them a little bit. Mike?
Torture's a good word for it, but right now they have only tortured them to a 3-point lead, and powering her way in is Barbara Turner. She just seems to be able to move anybody out to where she wants them.
Well, the coaches for Connecticut really felt that in order to make Tennessee play defense, they play tough defense that first 15 to 18 minutes, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's tough to guard for 30 seconds as long as you continue to run your offense. And Connecticut gets 5 to 6 passes in their half-court game. Zolman pressing things a little penetration right there, coming up with the charge.
One on Zolman. UConn still shooting lights out, 10 out of 17. Tennessee has dropped off to under 50%.
We talked to the Connecticut players yesterday, and they said if we can rebound with Tennessee, we've got a good chance.
More poor passes. She tried to get it to the cutting Taurasi.
And even though Connecticut beat Tennessee in overtime earlier in the year, Taurasi said they didn't play well.
Brittany Jackson drains the three. She has 5 points, and Tennessee is back to within 2.
Well, Connecticut's going to have to find out who the shooters are from the outside, and Taurasi continuing to struggle from the outside.
Taurasi in and out. Nice save by Barbara Turner, and she whacked it off of Brittany Jackson out of bounds.
Well, and that won't stop Taurasi from shooting, though.
Oh, no. Shooters shoot. Just moves so fluidly. Strother for 3. Won't go. Brittany Jackson with a rebound. Tennessee can tie with a 2. There's the long pass down court. McDaniel. We're tied at 24. Gino Auriemma unhappy with his club that they didn't get back in time on defense.
Well, they're just throwing up these threes. It's killing them because they're not getting any rebounds, and now Tennessee's able to push it up. 2 fast break points. Looking down the floor, Carol Lawson with the nice long pass. And the players for Tennessee, their post players, their wings, they can run the floor and get down. But Connecticut, for me right now, watching them, when they run their half-court set, they get good passes, good cuts off the screen. They're getting good wide-open shots, and maybe a second or third opportunity. Right now, they're jacking up threes they don't have to.
First time these teams played this year, it was a 1-point overtime game, so it's no surprise they're tied with 6:19 to go in the first half. Conlon wide open for 3. Conlon's hit a pair of those.
That time there was a lot of patience, and Conlon set up, nobody on her, because out of that zone they tried to steal it. And Gino Auriemma said Maria Conlon's got to come up with some big shots, and she has.
Brittany Jackson, good pass to the baseline for the attempted layup by Shira Eli, but she couldn't hit it, and then Connecticut collapses to tie it up in a jump ball, but it goes back to Tennessee on the possession arrow.
I tell you, Courtney McDaniel, 6'1" junior from Bristol, Tennessee. They call her Minute Maid. She